And that is right, people. I am, of course, the excellence one. I am Ricky Goldman. This, of course, is the most electrifying podcast in all of the land, the Rainy Rock Podcast. So you raise a glass, sit back, relax, enjoy, like, subscribe, all of that as I tag in my tag team partner here. Are you ready for that hot tag? Didn't tag me in. Didn't tag me in, but there you go. Fair enough. So how are you, first of all? Are you okay?
I am good. I'm good. I'm down visiting the girlfriend, but I knew I had to be on because there is a lot to talk about.
Okay, then. So then we'll kick off with a bit of a chit chat first, and of course the first segment of every week is, you guys guessed it. So what's cooking at the table? Actually, we'll start with youth this week, Ian. So what have you been up to? I know you went to Bray Wyatt, or Bray, whatever it's called.
I was in Bray, actually, I was in Bray, County Wicklow, the home of Finn Balor.
I was just going to say that, yeah. Is that near to Dublin?
Of course, it was where NWA Ireland happened, which of course trained Becky Lynch. I've been reading her book. We were there with the girlfriend, walking along Bray Pier, up Bray Head Mountain. Had a cheeky ice cream for the weather that was in it as well. It's all good crack. It's definitely a good tourist spot if you're ever coming down to Ireland. You won't actually see Finn Balor there now.
Well, no, he's in WWE.
You'll never see Finn Balor there anyway.
Few things. Ice cream's a little bit fattening. I try and kind of keep away from that, but now and again he's nice for a treat, but a bit fattening.
I know, Sharon, a bit of a diet myself.
Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, as he was called, he was at PCW. Yes. I don't know if you've heard of it, Preston City Wrestling, years and years ago before WWE. And I was like, I'm not meeting him. Who is he? He's a nobody. And now he's in WWE, so I should have met him.
And he was doing his thing before Reigns.
I should have met him, but his brain, maybe. Anyway, is Bray near to Dublin then?
No, it's in Wicklow.
Where's that?
It's in the east of Ireland.
How far away from Dublin then?
Yes, quite far. How far away? A good bit far away. You have to get a train down. You have to get the train
down. Do you still do your radio show every week, or do you not do that anymore?
I'll do a few radio shows there, but I might have some new ones coming up soon.
So you'll promote this podcast on there. Anyway, I don't know if your listeners would be wrestling fans or vice versa. I don't know. Anyway, so I've been to the gym, getting nice, big, fit, and strong like The Rock. That's it, really. Last week I didn't go to my craft thing because I fell asleep. And I've been watching a bit of TV. So, do you watch Doctor Who? We'll talk about that in movies. But do you watch Doctor Who?
No, not yet. That's something I have to get into.
This series, the second episode was rather odd. It's like different, but my favourite Doctor is David Tennant. Who's your favourite Doctor?
I don't actually watch Doctor Who at all, but it's something I should get into.
Fair enough. And of course, the tragic awfulness that was the Eurovision Song Contest.
I did not watch that. I did not watch that, but Ireland.
Thank God. It's all. It hasn't been about the song for years. It's all very political, and certain countries will vote for each other, and it's like, it's not really about the song. But thank God for a BBC iPlayer that I can fast forward through the whole lot. I did not watch it live. The UK was just, weird. Ireland was weird. Many other
That's what
countries
it's
were
meant
just
to be. It's meant to be.
weird.
That's all the acts are doing. They're just meant to be weird. That's how they're winning.
It's meant to be about it's a song contest. They should just stand there and sing.
But yeah, it's all changed now. You have to have a bit of vibe to it. Have to be something that everyone can boogie and dance to. That's what the aim as well of these days.
The UK song this year was I'm not boogieing dancing to that. It was just awful, pure awful. Just ugh. And even like the ones in different languages, I didn't think, oh, this sounds good. I just thought all of it, the whole. Is it on for 3 hours? Just all crap. Ugh. And people like have Eurovision Song Contest parties and just like, oh, get a life. Anyway, all said, all very political and all very not really about the song anymore. I don't think. But then Sam Ryder last year or the year before did well, so I don't know. Anyway, so of course next up is so we'll shine a spotlight on a bit of this. Movie talk. So I know you watched the new Liam Neeson movie. What did you think of it?
In the Land of Saints and Sinners, I thought it was a very good Irish film, good Irish cast. Kieran Hines, Colm Meaney, Jack O'Connell from Game of Thrones played Joffrey. That's the only film I've seen. There's a few film on my list anyway.
Liam Neeson's a star of that. I don't think Liam Neeson's ever made a bad film, ever.
Oh, he has made a few bad films. He has been in a few bad films.
But I've never seen one. Some I've not enjoyed as much, but I don't think I think he's one of those that, like I said, never made a bad one. Like he made some very good ones. Taken, definitely. Non-Stop.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
didn't see Blacklight, but I heard that was shite.
Black what? Back. I don't know. But the Lord of the Rings films.
CIA that one. And then there was another film he made that was a rip-off. There was another film he made last year that was a rip-off of Speed.
Yeah, what was that called? I thought that was pretty good. Just give me 1 second. I can't remember it. Google. I'm just quickly googling it. I thought it was good, but Retribution.
Yeah, that's the one, but I didn't see it. But I heard it was shot. I heard the premise, and I heard it was just basically a rip-off of Speed.
I liked it. Blacklight, I think I've seen that. That was okay. But like Lord of the Rings films, he's good in that. He's good in the Chronicles of Narnia.
He's not in the Lord of Rings. Liam Neeson was on the Lord of the Rings.
Yes, he is.
Liam Neeson is not in the Lord of the Rings. I've seen him. Liam Neeson is not in the Lord of the Rings.
Okay, then I meant Star Wars then.
Yeah, he was Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah. And of course, Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins.
He's definitely in Chronicles of Narnia. He's a lion.
Yes, I know that, yes, but he was not in Lord of the Rings.
Okay, then. I just thought he was. Anyway, so the 3 films I've watched are Parachute, starring Batista. That is the only reason I watched it. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one. Didn't know that one existed.
It's okay at best. If Batista wasn't in it, I wouldn't have watched it. Abigail, very good film.
Oh, I've heard that's good. That's Irish. That's an Irish one filmed in Ireland.
If you like vampire films, it's good. And Civil War, that was just okay.
Oh, that's on my list. I don't know if I'll see it now. I'll have to wait till it comes out on streaming.
It was okay at best. It might have been the copy that I watched, because the link that I watched. And there's a case in point. The trailer looked half decent, and the movie was okay. So if I had gone to the cinema and paid for that, I'd be like, what a waste.
Yeah.
Hence why I don't pay for them. But yeah, it was just
at the moment, the way the weather is at the moment, I haven't been going to the cinema. Like, if it's warm up down for a walk or a bit.
And well, I think you were going to go and watch the new Planet of the Apes, weren't you?
That's on the list. That's definitely on the list.
Another one I'll watch on Fire Stick, and kind of get just for the moment getting away from movies. I don't highly recommend it. Baby Reindeer.
Yes.
Great watch. I watched all 7 episodes all at once, or not all at once, it was one after another. Really good watch. Crazy, but good. Like how based on the true story, and the real Martha has come out and said, well, not admitted it, but I think she's just as crazy as the person that plays her. And in the drama, in the thing on Netflix, I would have gone to the police way sooner. He waited 6 months. I wouldn't have waited that long. Oh. But good watch. Highly recommend it. It's like you do question things like why did he not do this, or why did this person not do this? But yeah, I recommend it.
I've got to put it on my list at some point.
It's an hour per episode, so that's like nothing really. So yeah. Anyway, next up, of course, is have I been to any shows? Did I go to any shows last month? And the answer is this month, last week. And the answer is Megaslam Wrestling. It was just okay. 4 matches, very, very kiddified. Did pick up a little bit of merch, so I picked up a program, got it signed, and a necklace. Probably won't wear it, but we're away there. Did get a picture, which I'll quickly just show now. Got a meet and greet picture at the end. I've not took it off, have I? No, you haven't. So yeah, so there's that's a picture I got at the end. As I said, very, very kiddified. But they do well for what they are. They do very, very well. They're all over the country. They come to Ireland. I'm not sure if they go to other countries. They might go to Wales as well. I don't know. There's like a list on the back of where the next going. I was just going to say, do any of these ring a bell? I don't think any of these are Ireland, are they? No, Dunbar, is that England? I don't know. But they do have done shows in Ireland. I probably wouldn't recommend them, but and then my next one is next Friday, BTW Judgment May. The champion who was on here is in a fatal 4-way match. He'll be defending his title, so we'll be there. Judgment Day looks like a stat card, so that's next Friday. So only 3 shows this month. Not 6, not 7, if you're counting Mania Watch Party. I think I went to 6 last month, I think.
Do you keep a record of the ones you go to?
Yeah, I write them down in
I'm actually thinking about I might be going to an OTT show in August.
I'd like to go to one of them, but they're...
Well, actually, Joe knows who's going to be at the one in August. Joe's going to be at the one. Joe, who's going to be at the one in August?
Is it Dolph Ziggler and Danhausen?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Good man. That's good man. Trent Seven was at the last one that happened on Sunday, on May 12th.
Yeah, is Trent Seven in AEW, TNA now, I think.
He was in AEW for a bit, but now he's in TNA.
Right, so yeah, one ad, and then we'll get into some wrestling chat. So take note of this, do as it says, and sit back, relax, enjoy. So it's right. Protein tees, Gullman's, all designs. Again, as I say every week, if you cannot buy a t-shirt, I know money tight for some people. Not all of you have countless, endless money to spend on wrestling, like me. But fair enough, I get it. At least get it shared, get the word out there, and on my social on the screen right now. But let's get into a bit of wrestling talk, a bit of wrestling chatter as we do this. So, of course, wrestling roundup that will begin with the show that is very fast. The show that is very fast, the show that is very quick, and that is WWE Speed. Only one match that saw Apollo Crews losing to Ivar. Okay, I like that Ivar.
This week we're getting Trent Seven. We're getting sorry.
I like that Ivar got the win, but Apollo Crews. Like, if someone's going to get buried in a 3-minute match, that's like the end of their career, really. But so I like that Ivar got the win. Not Apollo Crews, I think, deserves a lot more. So I'll say, again, I like the concept. So I'll say a bronze plus. What's your rating for it?
I'll say a bronze because it's only a small show. Next week will be interesting because we're getting Tyler Bate versus Humberto. But Ivar's spreading himself about a bit because he hasn't been on Raw the last 2 weeks. So he's busy on NXT and on Speed.
The fact, and again, I know that WWE is the go-to company. You mentioned the wrestling coming to anybody in the world, they'll say WWE. But the fact, and it's a new concept, so I get that. But the fact that Speed pulls in more viewers than Dynamite says it all.
And before you say anything about the draft rules being broken, just remember that some of those people Speed doesn't count in the same with NXT.
I know, but NXT definitely does count, which we'll get to at the end here. I'll give my thoughts about that. Anyway, so 2 pieces of news I wanted to show before we go any further, and this is one of the pieces of news. I think, yeah. So the Atlas, so a lot of people wanting to leave. That's no shocker. The atmosphere backstage is very unstable. And also this. So Swerve Strickland going to Defy, which is cool for the people in Defy, but that is why AEW will never be the level of WWE. You don't see Cody, Damian Priest, Rhea, Reigns, whoever going to indie companies. Never.
Well,
okay, Pete Dunne did it when he was champion, but that was to spread, that was to promote UK wrestling, that was to kind of bring in as much talent as he could to WWE. So that was kind of, and I know that, yes, Dominic and Shane has gone to, they did GCW, and I know that Nakamura did Noah. But these are rare occasions. These aren't the WWE champion going to an indie company.
Well, the only thing with WWE is not going to, because WWE want them to pay a fee, for the fans to pay a fee if they went to an indie company.
Of course.
Second of all, with the Zero News report, like, you have to be careful there because they're not always a reliable source. Now, not all of it is unreliable because there is a talk now that Ricky Starks is waiting out his contract to expire in June so that he could go to WWE because Big Bill is now working with Chris Jericho.
And very quickly, with Swerve going to Defy, super cool if, like, for example, BTW next week, not going to happen. This is total dreamland, wildest scenario possible. But Damian Priest turned up. He's not going to do, but if Damian Priest turned up, world title in hand, cool, super cool, great. But that kind of devalues him that he's turning up in indie companies, like.
But, like, it's one of those cases that you never forget where you came from and all that. Like, these people, like, didn't get to WWE straight away.
It's devalued. It's like, why would I go to, not me personally, I'm going to WWE Manchester in October anyway, but why would I go if I can see them at a local indie company? WWE are very good at the only place you can see them is WWE. But yeah, let's get to the show. On every single Wednesday, their main show on the other company, the show with many, many explosions and fireworks.
Dynamite.
Dynamite! You say dynamite like it's anything good. So, so Trent Seven, so it was on the losing side against Orange Cassidy. I saw a lot of people didn't Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta was on the losing side against.
Did fight Orange Cassidy.
He was on the losing side against Orange Cassidy. A lot of people I saw online didn't like this. So, okay.
Well, a bit of a sad news there because, like, you're building Trent. I thought Trent would get a bit of a push of that, but he loses to Orange Cassidy. But then again, Chuck Taylor's had to retire due to injury, so you kind of also want to see Cassidy get his revenge there. So we could see Rocky Romero turn heel and team up with Trent.
And I'll say, and discussing pushes, I'll say the same thing I've said every single time. You've got, in 6 years of AEW, 2 people have had a better usage or better push than WWE. Sting, Tay Conti. Everybody else, no. They've had better usage, but a better push, no. Anyway, a little bit of women's action saw Harley Cameron. Who's that?
She's an indie wrestler who's now signed to AEW. She's with Saraya and Ricky Knight. So
how does Harley Cameron pull in ratings?
Being gorgeous.
Okay, in-ring skills. How does Harley Cameron pull in ratings?
She's all right.
But how does she pull in ratings? That's the number one. Mariah May took the L. The number one thought for WWE and AEW should be ratings, match, promo, segments. How can we build the audience and pull in ratings? I mean, any wrestling fan that says ratings don't matter, they damn do. That's what's got WWE onto Netflix, the biggest streaming site in the world. So ratings do matter, and obviously Netflix are happy with 1.5 million, 2 million that WWE get, which I think is not many, but they're obviously happy with it. So Holly Cameron does nothing for ratings, and we'll get also another match that does nothing for ratings. But yeah, Mariah May defeated her. Mariah May, whatever. Your thoughts on that?
I thought it was okay. 2 good-looking women in action, never a bad team. But
I don't care about their looks. I watch wrestling for in-ring skill. Who cares about the looks? The looks ain't making the company money. Anyway, speaking of Rocky Romero, he was unsuccessful against Jay White.
Well, no surprise there, but so I could see Rocky Romero turning heel and reforming Roppongi Pice with Trent Seven.
Harlan Abbott and Mo Jabari. Who are they?
Sound like an Indian tag team.
So, we'll get to the result, and then I'll give my thoughts in a second. They, of course, no shocker, no surprise, got beat by Chris Jericho and Big Bill.
No surprise there, but Hook is returning this week, so they're going to
So as a viewer, suspension of disbelief, we all know wrestling's not real, and as Tony Khan wants to have a go at WWE. Why he cares what WWE does week in, week out, I don't know. WWE don't care what AEW's doing. They concentrate on themselves. But anyway, Tony Khan says WWE promos are heavily scripted. AEW promos aren't. Well, they are. If they're bullet pointed, that they're still scripted. Anyway, suspension of disbelief, wrestling's not real. Why, as a viewer, would I think that this indie tag team is going to be Chris Jericho and Big Bill? Big Bill, you're trying to push. Why would I think, as a viewer, they're going to lose?
You have to probably trying to build up they're building up Chris Jericho's new faction.
But as a viewer, I'm sat at home as a viewer. Here's this indie tag team I've never seen before. Here's Chris Jericho. You just put a title on a Big Bill you're trying to push. Why would I think that Jericho and Big Bill are going to lose? Why would I think that?
You wouldn't think that, but you knew it was to get them over as a team to make them.
So
look
I'm not
strong.
going to think that. Therefore, it doesn't pull in ratings. Therefore, again, like AEW are they're an indie, and I love indie wrestling. I'm not crapping on it. And we'll get to Collision. A certain UK wrestler debuting on there. I love indie wrestling. Go to 3, 4, 5, 6 shows a month, at least 3. Indie wrestling is where it is at. Sometimes better than WWE. It's up close, personally, getting to meet the wrestlers. It's cheap. It's local. So I'm not crapping on indie wrestling, but AEW's indie wrestling with a TV deal. If you are WWE and AEW on a TV side by side, they don't look identical. They look worlds apart. As you've said in the past, AEW competition, for them to be competition, they need to be similar. They're not at all similar. WWE Productions, God mode, while AEW is indie. It's indie wrestling. Anyway, like Tony Khan wants to use the excuse of the thing of their Pepsi. No, they're not. Pepsi and Coca-Cola are very, very, very similar. Like I said, if you had a glass of each, I probably couldn't tell you what's what. They're very similar. AEW and WWE are worlds apart. And to end that week's Dynamite, still your reigning defending TNT champion after successfully keeping the title against Brody King is Adam Edge Copeland.
Did you see the thing on Brody King? I thought it looked like blood, but it actually looked like a face mask. It kind of reminded me of the ones Carmella used to wear when she had a broken face, when she used to protect her face.
Was it not blood then?
It was blood, but it made it kind of look like around his forehead and around there. It looked like a face mask.
I just thought, blood again, another trashy match. Catering to that small little audience, never wanting to grow.
But hang on, didn't we also see a bit of blood during Dragunov and Jey Uso?
Right. A tiny little bit of blood, but it wasn't pouring with blood, and it's not weekly on every single show. It's accidental blood. And they're not catering to a tiny, small audience. They cater to everybody.
And we also got the build to the Double or Nothing main event. It'll be a Anarchy in the Arena match with Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, and FTR taking on the New Elite, Kazuchika Okada, Jungle Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks.
So another trashy match.
And we've also
again, they're still catering to that small audience after 6 years. They haven't grown. That's bad business. Like, ugh. They haven't grown. Like I said last week, a local indie company, BTW, that I go to in 2 years. They've got to be going 2 years, and they're already branching out to the venue they're at. You know, they've done all their shows at one venue, and now they're branching out in 2 years. And AEW been going 6 years and haven't grown. And AEW is backed by a billionaire, while BTW is not. Awful.
Or maybe he is a smart businessman, though, the BTW man.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, like, OTT has been going for a good few years, and they expand to Belfast, Cork, alongside Dublin.
There you go. And they're not backed by a billionaire that's meant to know about wrestling.
Well, no, you work for it. You have to work for it, but, like, he's making his money now.
Grow the company, not just stay where you are. Grow. Tony Khan isn't. Anyway, God. Because bronze, Jesus, there's nothing there that I think that is good, but whatever.
Well, like we also let's get to SmackDown now, because there's a little point I want to get to now.
Your rating for bronze?
I'm gonna say silver.
So SmackDown, we have a brand new face on SmackDown, another NXT call up, and it is none other than Alicia Taylor. Great call up.
It's an interesting thing now, because both Raw and SmackDown, their ring announcers are both black women.
Okay. I don't care if
and of course, one of them is being put over on Raw, but we'll get to that later.
I don't care if they're green, as long as they're doing a good job. Skin color doesn't really matter to me. Anyway, I like that. Like everything's important to like ring announce is not the biggest, most important thing. Most people just overlook it, but WWE want to make it important, which I think is great.
You want a good voice. I mean, like, and you want them to care as well, as we saw with Samantha Irvin after WrestleMania 40.
They want to make everything. WWE want to make everything about their show important, every single aspect. So I think that's good. Good call up. Nick Aldis in the ring. Out comes the WWE Undisputed Champion, the non-drink Cody Rhodes, and then Logan Paul embarrassed him. Logan Paul said 0 lies. Logan Paul overshadowed Cody. I don't care if Cody's champion for he's not going to be, but if he's champion for the next 20 years, he's always going to be smart, not a big star like Logan, because Logan's brand is sponsored by WWE.
He wants, but until he's won the WWE title, he's not on the top of the mountain just yet. What do you think? Do you think the both titles
whose drink is in social with WWE again? Whose drink is on the ring canvas? Logan Paul, so he's way above. Yes, he's way above Cody, way above. But
until he's held the WWE title, he's not above there yet. So should both
yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's way above Cody.
Let's ask the question now to both people who are watching, if they are watching. Should both titles be on the line at King and Queen of the Ring? Simple yes or no.
Logan Paul is way above Cody. His brand is on the mat. His brand is heavily promoted by WWE. A lot more people. Logan Paul took on. They don't say Muhammad Ali, I would say, is the greatest boxer of all time, but of modern times, the greatest boxer of modern times. Cody Rhodes didn't do that. Logan Paul has his own podcast he had Cody Rhodes on. So Logan Paul is way above Cody. A lot more people knew Logan Paul is than Cody Rhodes. If they do title for title, you're getting a DQ finish. You're going to get the Wyatt family.
There's a lot of people that don't want him to do title for title because, say, if Cody wins, he gets the US title. They think it's kind of given too much to him there. Like they want to see someone like LA Knight win the US title. What you could do, like this week they're getting the contract signing. What you could do is the week after, do a beat the clock challenge with the person who doesn't beat the clock has to defend their title at Saudi Arabia. Therefore, you have Logan Paul win, and then Cody doesn't beat the clock, so his title will be on the line, and they can keep Logan's title until they get to SummerSlam in Cleveland, where he puts over LA Knight.
No, but Logan Paul's not losing it. He's LA Knight 50. They stop and start a push. No, he's fallen off a cliff. Contract signings bore me to death. Because we are meant to believe that until they sign that contract, the match isn't made. Okay. If it's title for title, so one of three things can happen. Logan Paul's WWE champion and Cody's champion for a month. Cody's going to win a mid-card title. Okay, Logan Paul's a big name, but it's still a mid-card title. So he's going to win a mid-card title. Be in 2 matches, be on more. Cody's like a Tony Khan in that the people that dislike Cody want to see as less of him as possible. So putting him further on the show drives those people away.
But the other thing with Cody is if he beats the US title, more likely he'll give it up and they have a tournament to decide the next US champion.
Cody should not be the guy to beat Logan. Or what's probably going to happen if both titles on the line, you're going to get the Wyatt 6 attacking Cody. That's what's going to happen.
They're taking out all those people that can't make King in the Ring.
They're going after Cody. Who else are going after?
But here's the thing, though. Like, if you book that, like, first off, why would you have them attack the WWE champion on their debut? You'll be making a mistake similar to what happened with The Fiend and Seth Rollins.
Which they're going to debut on Bo Dallas's birthday. Who else are they going after? They're not going after the women's champion. They're not going after the King of the Ring winner, the Queen of the Ring winner, Intercolor champion. No. So there's 5 matches made. They're going after one person, and that's Cody Rhodes.
They could go after Braun Strowman if he gets a match added to the card. So we'll just have to wait and see.
But he's not added to the card.
There's a week to go, so we'll just have to wait and see.
They're not going after Braun Strowman. They're not going after the world title. Damian Priest, the next match, unfortunately, is going to be Clash of the Castle. He loses to Drew, and but we'll get to that. We got to Raw. So the Queen of the Ring kicked off on SmackDown. And surprisingly, I thought Naomi was going to advance. She didn't, but Nia Jax did.
This was actually my favorite of the Queen of the Ring qualifiers. I think Nia Jax has really improved her game since coming back. Like, I did want Naomi, like, I knew straight away she was going for it. I say she'll be going into she'll more likely be going into the final, into the semi-final, or maybe the final. We'll have to wait and see, because I have a few other thoughts. I have a few other thoughts as well.
Nia's just like looks so clunky in the ring. The men's King of the Ring saw Baron Corbin, who's now been called up just to put people over. And he put over Carmelo Hayes, who will go on to face somebody this week. I can't remember who.
I'll tell you that later.
Not Tama. Tama's taking on LA Knight. Carmelo's taking on
qualified in the house show.
Somebody else. Who cares? But anyway, Carmelo Hayes advances. Your thoughts on this?
Right call to win there. Right call to go in there. Simple enough to say.
Piper Niven, Jay Cargill, they had a nice bout, and I think Jay Cargill's going to win the entire thing now. We'll get to, well, okay, I should have really saved that, but yeah, she advances. She goes past Piper Niven, that gave her a good match.
Facing Nia Jax this week on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think she beats Nia, definitely. I can't see him giving a loss to Jade this early on. I don't know if Bianca was injured, but a very quick squash match against Candice LeRae. You built up Candice and Indy on Raw, and they come to SmackDown and get jobbed out.
I don't think they got jobbed out, no, but you were more expecting Bianca to win that.
Because she beat Candice in seconds if she got jobbed out. So I don't know if Bianca was injured or not, or Candice was, but if they weren't, then Candice got jobbed out. So it's like the draft has changed nothing. I think the draft changes nothing. I think the same people are going to get pushed. Like Damage Control, we're getting pushed on SmackDown. They're going to get pushed on Raw. DIY, we're getting pushed on Raw. They're going to get pushed on SmackDown. They're going to get pushed on a different show. Yeah, Bianca Belair advances. Do we see Bianca Jade in the final?
I have a theory on that, and it kind of relates to what we saw on Raw, but we'll get to that when we get to Raw.
Tama Tonga with awful, very generic.
But he had fire.
Theme music. We had very generic theme music. Making his SmackDown in-ring debut. It was meant to be against Bobby Lashley, but in Bobby Lashley's place was Angelo Dawkins. Of course, no shocker, came up short. Tama Tonga goes on to face LA Knight this week.
And of course, in the house shows as well from the SmackDown side, Tiffany Stratton qualified defeating Mishin, and Shayna Baszler qualified defeating Maxwell Dupree because Zelina Vega got injured.
No shocker in any of those, really. Cool, probably cool for the fans in attendance. They got to see a qualifying match, but And to close out SmackDown, America tried to be as loud as France, but never going to happen because France rarely gets wrestling. America's very, very spoilt. In your finals, King of the Ring qualifying match on SmackDown, AJ Styles unfortunately didn't get it done, but with an RKO 1, 2, 3, Randy Orton advances.
I love this match. I thought, like, despite their AJ is still going strong despite his age, coming off a great match with Cody, which was the first match he ever got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, and to that match with Orton. Like, he's still going, like, he's given some of his best work that he's going, if he's going out this year, let him just keep doing his, let this be his best one. So I enjoyed this one. And next week, we're getting Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes.
Well, so you can have Carmelo lose unless
I don't know. Well, I have a few thoughts. I have some thoughts, but I'll get to you when we get to Raw. I'll tell you them. When we get to Raw, I'll tell you them.
Randy Orton could take a loss, and you have the Bloodline cost Orton. Or you
have Orton win, and you have Tonga go over LA Knight, and you get Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. But we'll get to that.
So Carmelo's going to lose this quick into
hang on. Then again, did another former NXT champion lose to someone else as well? But we'll get to that later. So I'll talk more about that in a bit.
Carmelo lose this quick into his main event.
But then again, another NXT call-up lost after 2 weeks, so we'll just get back to that later.
So on Level Up, apparently I got the results wrong last week. It was this week, but another match got added. And why she returned on Level Up rather than NXT? She's returning on NXT, but she was on Level Up, and that is Wendy Cho returned and beat Vince Sinclair. Okay, I don't know why she was on Level Up and not NXT itself, but there you go. Bronze. I messed up the results last week. So Collision and Rampage were the same.
Together. I guess. Yeah, they're on the same time the way Dynamite did that a couple of weeks ago.
How are they both an hour long or?
No, Collision's only 2 hours.
So Rampage is an hour, so 3 hours. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, Top Flight were the losers, but the winners were BCC, so Blackpool Combat Club.
Well, and obviously, when you knew Blackpool Club was going to go winning in this one, like who were the members of Blackpool Combat Club? Was it?
I have no idea. I just read it.
It's Moxley and Bryan, and they're definitely winning that one.
No idea. Possibly. It was possibly them too. Will Ospreay, who Matt Caster dared to call the greatest wrestler in the world. He's good. Will Ospreay. I'm not going to sit here and be WWE Mark and bury Will Ospreay and say he's awful. He isn't. He's good. He's good in the ring, but best in the world. Oh, he's good. He is good. But he continued his winning ways going into Double or Nothing next weekend.
Yes.
And he went over Lee Moriarty.
Easy win there, just to get him warmed up for Roderick Strong. Should he win the belt? We'll talk about that next week.
He's probably going to do, but how long has Roderick been champion? Not long, has he?
Since Revolution.
So March, 2 months. Ooh,
yeah.
3. Okay, 3. Yeah, it was in March, was it? So 2 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, in 6-man tag team action, Brian Cage along with the Gates of Agony. I've heard of those before, I think.
Yeah.
Defeated and beated Evans, Rivers, and the Jesus.
It was to get them warmed up because
Boris
Cage
twins.
is facing.
Who were there?
It was to get them warmed up because Cage is facing Swerve this week on Dynamite. Because if you saw what happened, the Gates of Agony have turned on Swerve leading into his match with Christian Cage.
Who's Evans, Rivers, and the Boros twins were there?
Jobbers.
How does it bill? How's it bringing ratings? Like, WWE don't stick on. Well, they've not got they've got Raw, SmackDown, that's it. They've not really got a B show. NXT, I wouldn't call NXT the B show at all. Level Up, I suppose, but who watches that? Does Level Up really get good ratings? I don't know. But, okay, let's use Raw then. How many do you stick some jobber on Raw and expect them to pull in ratings?
We haven't seen the last few weeks.
Anyway, yeah, your thoughts on that?
It was just a warm-up match because Cage is facing Swerve this week on Dynamite.
I'm never going to hate on indie talent, and we'll get to a certain somebody in a second here, but I'm never going to hate on indie talent getting a spot in AEW. Cool, great. Cool for them. They're getting a payday. They're getting to wrestle in the second biggest wrestling. Are they? Oh, God. I suppose more people know AEW than TNA, I suppose. Just about. So I'll say the second biggest wrestling company in the world. I'm never going to hate on it. Cool, great. Go and do your thing. But yeah, anyway, Daniel Garcia also continued picking up win after win after win. This one was against Kevin Matthews.
Put some gold on Daniel Garcia, please, AEW.
And apparently some fan rushed the ring afterwards.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, never do. Stay behind the ring, people. You will get hurt.
well, hurt. Well, the wrestlers just roll out the ring because they're not a part of it. But you'll get arrested. You'll miss the rest of the show, and you might get banned from WWE or AEW. So yes, never do that ever. Ever. So the person I wanted to talk about is someone that I've actually met at an indie show, and that indie show was Top Rope Wrestling, and that is Tommy Billington, nephew of British Bulldog.
Yes, that's why he says Dax Harwood.
So cool. So Tommy Billington, I met him at an indie show, and he got a match in AEW. So cool, great for him. But
he faced Dax Harwood.
Yeah, like so cool, and I'll never hear on AEW on the UK indie wrestlers getting a spot in WWE or AEW or New Japan or TNA or whatever. Go and do their thing, make money, but they're not going to bring in ratings anyway. But yes, he came up short against Dax Harwood, unfortunately. So your thoughts on this?
I'm hoping like the WWE can get him now. Like the Son of the Dynamite Kid would be a good answer. Would be a good add to NXT.
And his tag team partner, I think they call the Billington Bulldogs. Both are a good tag team. I met them both. So, again, cool. GYV, they've been in AEW, Martin Stone, Danny Burch. I'm never going to hate on that, but I'm not their agent.
So wrestlers building up to the Wembley show.
I'm not their agent, so whatever. Anyway, in ladies' action, we saw Robin Renegade, I've not heard of for quite a few months. She took the LOSS against Thunder Rose. Obviously, this builds up. Thunder Rose, oh no, she's not got a match, has she, at Double or Nothing?
No, not at the moment, because Tony Storm is facing Serena Deeb.
Serena Deeb. Yeah. And Adam Copeland defended his TNT title again, this time against Kyle O'Reilly, and obviously retained.
Yeah, well, Kyle O'Reilly helped him against the House of Black, so that's how he got the match. And now Adam Copeland is challenging Malachi Black at Double or Nothing to a barbed wire steel cage match.
Doesn't that tell you just what AEW is? It's like
the last time we saw barbed wire steel cage match in wrestling, my knowledge, was 2005 with Big Show and JBL.
One. I've only ever seen one. And I presume they're quite dangerous to do, so that's why they don't do them.
Well, JBL won by going under the ring, so that's how he won that one.
And that was a good match. JBL was a good heel. JBL's always
got the title a month before Mania, so.
JBL has always said he didn't want people buying his merch, because why would you want to? If they're a true heel and they're getting heat and you hate them, why would you want to put money in their pocket? Why would you want to support them if they're a true heel? So, so a couple of things here. First of all, Adam Copeland. I don't know if you've seen his interview. I've seen clips of it. Not seen the full interview with Chris Van Vliet, CVV. Have you seen that interview?
Yeah. I've seen some of it. Yeah. What about? Go on. Which one are you talking about?
We were saying that he's now in AEW to kind of face these people he's ever faced before, which is cool for him. So yeah, that's cool, I suppose.
I mean, like, he'd done everything in WWE, so he needed a new challenge, and he's taken it. I mean, I do want to see him face guys like Mox and Ospreay and Omega. So. And maybe MJF, to see how long he can go for with it.
Maybe MJF's on his way to WWE, who knows? And the other thing is, barbed wire steel cage just shows you kind of what the AEW audience is. Bloodthirsty, savage. Ugh. And something we forgot about, I'm not forgetting this with Dynamite. Didn't somebody flash on Dynamite?
I don't know exactly. Oh, no, I think someone just acted inappropriate towards Sky Blue at a Ring of Honor show.
Oh, some woman flashed themselves on camera. That's
Oh,
what
I think I heard
on.
about that. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
So that's the AEW. That would never happen at a WWE show ever. Maybe in the Attitude Era, but we're way past the Attitude Era.
It did with DX, so yeah.
Way past, we're 20 years past the 30 years past the Attitude, well, 20 years past the Attitude Era. But that's the AEW audience that does that. Anyway, because Tommy Billington was on it, I'm actually going to give it a silver because I like UK talent being on it. So you're rating for
I'll say
Collision.
silver for Copeland and O'Reilly. It was a good match there.
And Rampage saw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 matches. The first one of those, Dalton Castle did the job to Trent Beretta. I got the name right this time.
Trent Beretta needing a win back after the loss to Cassidy on Dynamite.
Brian Keith, who can't seem to get a win, but he did this time against J.D. Drake.
He liked one of our shows a while back.
Again, if that was a real Brian Keith, but we'll never know. I'm not going back and looking. But your thoughts on that?
Oh, he gets a win. A win is a win at the end of the day for Brian Keith.
Yeah. Lady Frost.
There's someone in a while.
Deanna Prouzel's not going to match either. Has she? No, he's. But yeah, Deanna Prouzel defeated Lady Frost.
Well, there was someone I hadn't seen in a while, but Deanna Purrazzo now regulates Rampage. Well, eventually, somewhere down the line, they were going to get regulated to Rampage.
Yeah, and I remember when Deanna Purrazzo came in and the AW Marks was like, oh, WWE, you better watch out. You missed not getting Deanna Purrazzo, and now she's on Rampage. And Johnny TV, John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny whatever, 10,000s of names. Great guy, so I'm a lover wrestling, but he lost to Pac.
Well, Pac needed a bit of a win. But this is Pac's first match since Revolution when he lost to Dynasty when he lost to Okada.
Yeah,
so he might even need to get a win back there.
Yeah, the Max Caster interviewer will say that yes, AEW. I'm not going to sit here and bury it and be a WWE mark and say, well, they're not in WWE. They have some good talent. Brian Omega, Ospreay, Danielson, Pac. The list goes on, but they're just not used properly. Like Bryan Danielson, one of the greatest in the world, and he's not had a title in AEW. And I know he's on his way out.
He's actually going to be retiring soon. He's only got a few matches left, and he'll be retiring at WrestleCon in October. He has a minute that.
Okay then. Anyway, bronze for Rampage.
I'll say a bronze as well.
So for the brand that is uncooked, the brand that is always on a Monday night, and that is Monday Night Raw.
And Raw lately, since the draft, hang on, can I just say this? Raw lately, since the draft, has really stood for really awesome wrestling. Because there's really been some really good matches on the last 2 weeks of Raw.
It's been, again, I will say this, I've said this weekly, it's better than when Vince had it, but
since the draft with the King of the Ring tournament, there has been really great wrestling on it.
But like I said, I don't think the draft is going to change anything. I don't think you're going to see people that weren't pushed. We'll see. We'll see when the King of the Ring. So after next weekend, we'll see when it's said and done. We'll see. But I just can't see like Alba Fire, Isle of Dawn. Who else? Dijak, for example. Any of these getting pushed? Just like
it takes time. There's a lot of people to push at the moment that have to get their moment. So give everything time, as they say.
This is why certain people should have been drafted to NXT and just stayed there. Anyway, to kick off this week's Raw that happened 48 hours ago, Drew McIntyre is killing it week in, week out.
Oh, this was good. This was a good promo.
He called out Damian Priest, but he did make Damian Priest look
Well, Damian Priest put his own as well, but like Damian Priest didn't stand there and take it. Like he knows people think he's a paper champion, but he also reminded Drew McIntyre that he's taken his eye on the ball. You held the world title and you lost it because you took your eye on the ball and focused on CM Punk. You could have been the #1 contender at Backlash and you took your eye off the prize because you were focused at CM Punk. You could have been King of the Ring, but you got injured and you're too concerned about CM Punk. So he's announced that he will give Drew McIntyre the shot, possibly at Clash of the Castle. More likely be a Clash of the Castle. I can't see it being added.
Yeah, and
Damian, like Priest didn't really take it up the hole. He gave back.
It was good, but I still look at Priest as just carrying a belt. And I like Priest. He's got the look. He's decent on the microphone. He's just a guy carrying a belt. He does not feel like world championship material. And yes, he's probably losing to Drew at Clash, and like that'll be it, forgotten about. Unless they do, and I really wouldn't, unless they do Punk costing Drew, and they do Punk Drew without the title at SummerSlam, and it's Punk Priest Balor, but no, I think Drew's winning it. So the first quarterfinal for the Queen of the Ring saw Io Sky advance as she knocked off. Oh dear, I forgot again. Shayna Baszler, of course. Yeah.
This was brilliant. This was probably
a good match.
My favorite match of the night. Yeah. Like you saw the Shayna Baszler from NXT come out when she attacked Io Sky and just the aggression that was in there. We also got a mention to Stardom Wrestling, where the two of them used to wrestle as well.
This was a good match.
I was going with Shayna to win, but it was Io at the end of it. It was Io at this one.
I don't think Shayna looked bad in defeat. Like I said, I think Shayna should win the entire thing. Maybe it's that she's got no personality. Like I can't remember one good promo. All the time that Shayna's been in WWE, NXT, whatever, I can't think of a good promo she's cut. So if you've got no personality, maybe that's holding her back. But now that Shayna's out, I think Jade wins the entire thing. I just can't see her giving her a loss this early on. But Io Sky will face someone else that we'll get to later on. But yeah, good win for Io. We had another return on Raw, and that was, of course, Lillian Garcia. Great ring announcer. Your thoughts on this?
It was good to see her come over and put over Samantha Irwin. Samantha Irwin really deserves it after WrestleMania. And then we got to this one. Then we got to...
I think like Lillian Garcia's up there with... she's one of the all-time great ring announcers. Got her, Howard Finkel, Tony Chimmel, Samantha Irvin. What's he called in AEW? Justin Roberts wasn't bad. But she announced that we had a first King of the Ring quarterfinals on the men's side of things. Saw a good match between Kofi Kingston and Gunther. Of course, Kofi Kingston coming up short. Gunther now advances to the semi-finals.
Yes, we'll get to more about Gunther later on. Anyway, let's move on. We also had we had two matches featuring challengers for the Triple Threat Intercontinental title. We saw Bronson Reed squash Akira Tozawa.
So at King of the Ring,
I'm really liking Chad Gable as a heel. Like he's really coming up like with the lines. Like he was given Maxine a lot of skit because she lost on Sunday to Shayna, and then Ivy Nile comes out to support her, and then he goes to her, well, you shouldn't be supporting Taylor, not so Swift.
Yeah, he is good. I think he's, again, see, as long as he doesn't do the goofy stuff, yeah, he's good. So yes, we are getting triple threat action at King and Queen of the Ring. Sami Zayn will defend against Bronson Reed, another guy that hasn't got any personality. And Chad Gable. And like you said, yeah, Bronson Reed totally does nothing for anybody. Builds a little bit of momentum for Reed, but just squashed Akira Tozawa. Okay. Speaking of, unfortunately, no crowd react. Well, the crowd liked her, but I think it needs to improve on for promos. Shayna Baszler, Lyra Valkyria, Bronson Reed start a faction and call themselves Charisma Vacuum because they have no charisma at all. It's like, ugh. And I want Lyra Valkyria to do well because she's from the UK. So Ireland part of the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Is it not? I thought Northern Ireland was part of the UK.
It is, yeah, that's still part of the UK. Republic of Ireland is not.
Okay, right. So Lyra Valkyria, she advanced in a good match against Zoe Stark. So Sheila now will take on Io Sky next week.
And there's a good start of this now. There was a good start because like they're doing the interview about her time and she's given a warning to Damage Control that she's here, and then she's greeted by Becky Lynch. Then Becky goes back. Then Liv Morgan comes out and says, "Isn't Becky such a bitch?" And then she goes, "Why don't you ask her?" And she's right behind her, smack in the face. I just thought, how did she get around the camera just to get back there?
Walked round the back quite easily. So you're going to get Lyra, Io next week. I think Io wins that. So you're going to have Lyra lose her main event run already.
We don't know that.
Okay, then if she beats Io, she's losing to Jade then. She ain't winning King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. So regardless whether it's next week or the week after or the pay-per-view, she's losing her main event run already. Speaking of your Intercolor champion, Sami Zayn, he was in action against Otis. This was an okay match. You saw more of a serious Otis here, but he took the L to Sami Zayn.
And then there's this whole thing where Chad Gable tries to attack Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn suplexes him, and Otis tries to pick him up. He goes mad, and then he slaps Otis right in the face, and he just makes you really hate Chad Gable for slapping a good guy like Otis.
And then I think they're like slowly building to Otis. He's going to turn on him, which I just hope that Otis thing gets.
Like, we want to separate Chad Gable from Alpha Academy and put him with the Creeds and Ivy Nile, because that will be a good fact. That will be it. That will be Team Angle 2.0.
I just hope that Otis then gets a push afterwards and not just lost in the shuffle. Speaking of, what was up next? Was it Becky Lynch and Dakota Kai, I think?
Because Damage Control attacks, and then Lyra Valkyria comes out, and then Liv Morgan attacks from behind to get back at Becky Lynch.
So yeah, DQ win for Becky Lynch. If you have, I'm 50-50 on does Liv win it, which is good. That's what you should be going into a match. You shouldn't be, this person's definitely winning. Predictability in wrestling is not a bad thing, but
it's very it might happen. It could happen because Becky's contract is running out in a couple of weeks. She's more likely going to resign, but I think she's going to take that time off. She was well earned after WrestleMania.
But if you have Becky retain, you could do Becky Dakota at Clash. I think that's a match you could revisit later down the line. I think they'll put in a good match, and you do that at Clash. Maybe we'll see. We saw Fatal 4-Way action that featured AOP, Creed Brothers. They need to change the theme music. So generic. Anyway, Creed Brothers, the Judgment Day, and New
Catch Republic. Sorry, New Catch Republic.
New Catch Republic. Good match here that saw Judgment Day. Well, Finn Balor with a much needed win, because the last time he won by pinfall, I can't remember. So they're back on winning track for at least now.
There was the referee was kind of giving out about how the match was going because he thought it was a little messy and someone could have gotten hurt. And he was also wondering why it wasn't stopped by DQ because of the interference of Carlito to help the Judgment Day win.
There's no DQ in a Fatal 4-Way.
No, there isn't no DQ in a Fatal 4-Way yet, but they should really explain that.
Okay. And your main event for this week's WWE Raw qualifying match, your final on the Raw side of things, final King of the Ring qualifying match, quarterfinals with a surprising win Jey Uso. I would have really done Ilya Gunther next week.
I was surprised about that one. And there were a lot of people that were giving out about how the match came out because we were all hoping for Gunther versus Dragunov. But here's the thing. I did think about it more. And here's the thing. Number one, Jey is hot at the moment. Jey is still hot. We're seeing the Yeats come out. We're seeing the Flash still like coming out too. Dragunov has only been on the main roster 2 weeks. He has to earn his stripes. The same thing with Carmelo Hayes. He's going to have to earn his stripes. And 3, a match like Dragunov and Gunther, you want that to be held at a pay-per-view, where not an episode of Raw where there's commercial breaks in between, because you know they can deliver. Like, we also got a preview of some of the history of Dragunov and Gunther when Dragunov was doing a backstage interview and he admitted he beat Gunther, and then Gunther comes out. Like, for those that watch them in NXT and NXT UK, they'll know about it. For the casuals that watch Raw, they don't. So for a match like that, you have to save it at a pay-per-view. It's the same with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. You don't want them to have a match. People are thinking they're going to build towards Bianca and Jade for a King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring qualifier. I don't want that to happen at that. I want that to be on a pay-per-view, because with Raw, the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring matches, they're better because they've been given a lot of time due to 3 hours. With SmackDown, it's a little bit rushed. So I don't think they should have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill wrestle for the final spot for SmackDown. I think you have either Tiffany Stratton or Nia Jax go over one of them. More likely Tiffany Stratton, but there's a lot of talk going on because of a video that got leaked out with her saying something about Jade Cargill, which was done by a voiceover as well. So people are wanting her taken out, but I don't think that's going to happen because it was not her voice. But no, I don't think it should be Bianca and Jade in the final. I think it should be Jade and Tiffany, with Tiffany winning and facing either Lia or Io. And the same with Ilya, he'll get his moment, but he has to earn it. Save Gunther versus Dragunov for a match of pay-per-view, maybe at Bash Berlin, and maybe if Gunther wins the title at SummerSlam.
As the thought of Nia Jax being in any match, just it might be part of the bloodline, but very clunky in the ring. I can't think of one good match he's had. I would have done Ilya Gunther. They're in a war, and Gunther just
but if you want them to have a war, do it on a pay-per-view. Don't do it on Raw, because you'll end up with commercial breaks in between. You won't get that at a pay-per-view.
Gunther just wins, so Ilya doesn't look bad in defeat. Because Jey Uso, I think Gunther's winning this entire thing. I don't think Jey Uso wins.
As well. So. What I think should happen. Have Gunther go over Jey, and if we're getting Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga, have Orton go over Tonga, and let's have Randy Orton versus Gunther, the new guard of Triple H versus the Ruthless Aggression era Randy Orton and former apprentice of Triple H.
And I can't see Gunther going for the title at SummerSlam. I would imagine it's Punk Drew at SummerSlam. Gunther, I think, goes after the WWE title after winning Money in the Bank. I think you're going to see Cody versus Gunther.
If he wins King of the Ring, he won't need the Money in the Bank briefcase because he'll get a shot either way, and he can choose his shot.
The last year, God, Xavier was never got a title shot. That's never been said that the winners are getting a title shot ever.
I think Gunther will get a title shot after winning that whole thing. Should we go on to NXT? Oh yeah, go for Raw.
So he's going to get a title shot at Clash of Champions. So he's get a title shot against who? Not at Clash. That's Drew. Money in the Bank. That would be very weird.
Bash Berlin are his best bets.
No, it's going to be Gunther Cody. Gunther's winning Money in the Bank.
Shall we go on to NXT?
Cody's champion until, we'll discuss Cody in a second here, but for Raw, I'll give it a bronze plus. I thought it was decent, but what's your rating?
I'm going to say gold. I thought there were a lot of great matches at it. As far as the Dragunov match goes, I think his match with Ricochet was better.
And on the show that happened just 24 hours ago, just yesterday, saw another new face, and that is Mike Rome. He's back on NXT as the ring announcer.
Yeah, I saw that there. Yeah, that's right. That did happen. We started off with Ilya Dragunov Noam Dar getting attacked.
Yeah, I think that's like he was looking, the way he was looking, that's a bit like he set that up himself, and yeah. But I do like that they're bringing in the real life relationship with Trick and Lash into wrestling. I think that's cool. But one of your favourite, Sol Ruka,
this is a good match now.
defeated and beated somebody.
Oh,
Who?
Petrovic. Petrovic, I think that's her name is.
Petrovic. Izzy Dame, not Petrovic. Who's Common Petrovic?
Izzy Dame, yes. Sorry.
Izzy Dame.
Izzy Dame.
So yeah,
Izzy Dame. Sorry.
Petrovic. Yeah, the fans
I don't know why
like Sol.
For some reason. Yeah, Sol Ruka wins that one.
The fans like Sol.
Oh yeah,
so,
she's just brilliant. Cool. She's just athletic, gorgeous.
I don't care about her looks, and I care about her in-ring skill. But yeah, cool. Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. I do like that they're giving
over the mountain.
Is it Idris? Kind of a storyline that he's
Idris
got bad luck.
Idris Enofe and Malik Blade lost to Over the Mountain.
In Over the Mountain, out the mud. They're called it Over the Mountain.
Sorry, yeah, no, I'm thinking outside. Sorry, no, weak.
But I like that they're giving Idris a storyline that he's got bad luck. I do like that, but I think they tried everything they can with Idris and Malik, and they're just not over for some reason. They're good in the ring, but your second match that saw one of these advance into the ladder match.
Lash Legend
Battleground. So Lash Legend didn't allow her any thoughts of Noam Dar getting attacked or Trick Williams or anything. She went on and defeated Avi Nile. I suppose it's more about pushing your NXT talent than it is your main roster talent. But they have nothing for Avi Nile, and it's like.
Well, look, they will have something for very soon. Just give it time. Give it time.
The draft is going to change nothing. Like we'll get to other people later on here, but it's like Avi Nile.
It will happen. Like just give it. Look,
other people. It's just why would you not just draft?
It will happen for Ivy Nile. Just give it patience. Let the story with Sammy and Chad finish. Let him finish his story with Alpha Academy, and then you put the Creeds and Ivy Nile with Chad.
Okay, fair enough. I suppose I'm like the rest of the wrestling.
Yeah, just let Papa H cook.
I suppose I'm like most of the wrestling community that wants quick, fast. I want it now.
Yeah, so let Papa H cook.
But the 20-year-old Javon Evans, he took the W, and the W was against Oro Mensah.
That was a brilliant match. Javon, that was very high flying. And then we saw a bit more of Lash Legend and Trick Williams.
Javon's definitely the future. Just 20, so yeah, he's got the future in it ahead of him, really. Wesley took to the ring, grabbed the microphone. Obafemi came out. I think Obafemi's getting better every single week, whether it's in the ring or on the microphone. He seems to improve weekly. Ivor came out. Josh Briggs did. We're now getting a triple threat. Well, we think we're getting a triple threat next week. But yeah, your thoughts of all this?
We are getting that. That's going to be hard. I think that's going to lead to a fatal 4-way.
But yeah, I think I do like Obafemi. The club or Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, call them what you like. OG, the Good Brothers. They've got like 10,000 names. They defeated. They got the W against Ridge Holland and Riley Osborne.
Good win for Good Brothers, still on their winning ways. What is next for Ridge Holland now? Like for this,
but Riley did a kick on. Riley did a kick on the drop kick on Ridge, and you could clearly see that he was kicking Ridge because I just thought bit out of place there, but whatever. He's still learning, I suppose. Collie Bright made her NXT debut. So if you don't know Collie Bright, she's a Level Up.
Yeah, I saw that. She's going to be facing.
I don't know. She's not a star, but she's on Level Up. She made her NXT debut. Unfortunately, not triumphant as Lola Vice quickly defeated her. I like the push that Lola's getting. Your thoughts on this?
I think Lola Vice is definitely getting that push. I think she's the one to beat Roxanne Perez.
heel, but she's a heel, and so is Roxanne. So,
but I say she could go face. She could do face well, like with a bit more
maybe.
build.
And in your main event for NXT was for the Heritage Cup. Charlie Dempsey defending, Tony D'Angelo challenging, and Tony D'Angelo with, I think, a bit much needed. I know they won the tag team. Him and Stacks won the tag team title, but for like a month, 2 months at the most. So I think much needed win for Tony.
They won 2 tag team titles.
The family, they didn't. They won.
Yeah, they did. They won their first belt. They won the first belt off Gallus and the second belt off Chase U.
Okay, then I only remember one. But okay, Tony D'Angelo hasn't had many wins as of late, so I think much needed here. What do you think?
So I was thinking Charlie Dempsey would retain and just. I was hoping for Charlie Dempsey to retain, especially now that they're missing one member now. So I think he should get a rematch. But if you're going to keep the what's the group called again? I can't remember their name.
No Catch Crosser Crew.
No Catch Pros. You've got to add Regal into that mix.
And then after to close out NXT, you had another return, and that was Gallus. They took out all Josh Briggs, Ivar, Wesley, all 3 members of that triple threat match next week.
I think that's going to be added to a fatal 4-way next week. So you're going to get Josh. You're going to get Joe Coffey. You're going to get Wesley. You're going to get Ivar, and you're going to get Josh Briggs. Fatal 4-way. And that'll be a 5-way match or some sort of like gauntlet match they're going to do, or maybe even a flipping, I don't know what you call it, or sort of like clock challenge match like they did back in 2000. A scramble, championship scramble.
We'll see. But very quickly, going back to kind of indie talent, Gallus, Riley Osborne, Noam Dar. These are all former indie talent, and now they're in WWE. So again, I will never hate on indie talent. If they want to go to WWE or AEW and make a name for themselves, off they go. But again, I'm not their agent, so whatever.
Well, yeah, it is the place to be, like, because you're going to see the success of past indie talent that have succeeded in WWE. You're going to see the success of CM Punk, the success of Daniel Bryan, the success of Seth Rollins, the success of Kevin Owens. I mean, like, you're even seeing guys like, you're also seeing guys that that left WWE and wrestled on the indies for a few years to gain experience, like Drew McIntyre, like Cody Rhodes, etc. Like, everybody has to work to get to where they are. I mean, another example of indie AJ Styles as well.
What I'm saying is, though, like, if I had a choice, I wouldn't go to AEW if I was. But then, whatever. People like grizzled GYV, grizzled young veterans, they want to work everywhere. So fair enough on them. They got a good payday. Cool. Anyway, Silv, I'll say, good NXT, but not as good as usual. So I'm actually going to give it a silver minus this week.
I'm going to say silver as well. I'll say silver.
So one final main event segment here. First, I will play this. So feast your eyes, everybody, on this.
To never miss a second, never miss an upload, never miss anything I do, and never miss when I go live doing watch parties and my brand new podcast live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. The Raining Rock Podcast. Add me on Facebook, Ricky J. Pete. Whilst there, search on Facebook WWA World Wrestling Alliance. Follow me on X at Ricky Goldmans. Head over to Pro Wrestling Tees and search Goldmans1 and head over to my YouTube channel. Search, like and subscribe to the People's Wrestling Channel. That once again, the People's Wrestling Channel.
So that is right. And me, follow me, like, subscribe, do all of that as we go into the final thing here each and every week, which is news and headlines. So 5 pieces of news. So we'll discuss 2 pieces of news that we should have discussed last week but forgot. First one is Jerry Lawler no longer in WWE. He does want to he wants to call another match with JR at some point, but he's done with WWE. Your thoughts on this?
He had a good career there. Yeah, he was fired once. They brought him back. His health is not great at the moment. And plus, he wasn't going to fit in this new era that we're living in with Triple H. So it was good. He got out quietly. Then a big audience leave. So thanks, King, for everything. Get well soon, health wise.
I presume he's not wrestling anymore either. I know he.
No, I hope not. He's in his 70s now. He's got a beard. One more match.
That still won't stop him. Hopefully he's not wrestling, but the other piece of news, of course, is woo!
Ric Flair being thrown out of a bar.
Ric Flair being Ric Flair, the Nature Boy being the Nature Boy, got thrown out of some bar and cutting a promo saying, it felt like a promo, saying, I put this bar over and who do you think you are? And calling people dipshits and everything else and just being drunk and crazy. Your thoughts on this?
It's Ric Flair being Ric Flair.
He
hasn't been appearing on in AEW for a while. Like, he hasn't appeared since after everything with Sting.
The bit that we said, I put this bar over, or whatever it was, restaurant over, made me laugh. I thought, it's not a wrestling, it's not a promo, but I suppose the restaurants have just got a bar, or whatever it was, has got to just treat him as just a regular customer. You don't like, oh, he's Ric Flair. I suppose they're just going to treat him as a regular customer, I suppose. Other news is, unfortunately, I know they're against NBA, but my thing is, if you're drawn to something else, I'll keep it in the simplest terms. So a wrestling draw, if you're watching something else, I don't care what it is, or doing something else, and that wrestling isn't a draw, or if you're spending anybody in the world spending your money on something else, again, they're not a draw. So SmackDown ratings down. I know they're against NBA, but still.
Well, what was the rating? What was the rating number exactly?
I don't know. They were down.
It's still 1 billion. It's still 1 billion something. They're still guessing.
Million. It wasn't a billion. It's never been a billion.
It wasn't
ever.
Like the rating you'd see on an NXT or a Dynamite or a Rampage. I mean, it's always going to be higher than that.
WWE's always going to be higher because they've been around for longer. So they put themselves out there, and they're always more well known, etc., 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 more family friendly. 10,001 reasons why WWE always get better ratings than AEW. But SmackDown not a draw, meaning a certain Sunday's not a draw, and that says with it is Cody. So ratings down. So he hasn't drawn ratings or money.
They're still making their money. I mean, SmackDown is still selling out the buildings. But hang on, if it's not, you have to blame. Well, if you're only going to blame Cody, why don't you blame the other talent or the people behind the scenes? You can't put rest on one person. I mean, if you have to blame it on him, you have to blame it on Bayley, LA Knight, the new bloodline. They all have to take. They're all part of the show too.
No. The WWE champion's the main guy. He's the should be the ratings puller, the merch seller. The WWE champion's meant to be the main guy. So he's failed on the last look at t-shirt sales. This is a week after Mania. He was 7th. He's failed on TV rate. Okay, NBA was on. I don't care. If there were more people watching NBA than watching SmackDown, SmackDown wasn't a draw. Cody Rhodes wasn't a draw. If they had something better to do with their time and their lives, SmackDown wasn't a draw. And Bloodline pulling in more views on social media. We look at everything. They're not like AEW, they don't care what happens on social media.
Well, first off, I don't agree Cody's fit. Oh, sorry, you first.
I'm quite making himself look like a clown. He doesn't care what he does on social media. He doesn't care how he looks. WWE do care how they look, and they look at everything. They'll be fully well aware that the Bloodline are pulling in more views than Cody. And this is a month after he's won the title.
But first off, he hasn't failed as a champion. For one, he's defended his title across different countries around the world the past month.
He has
in
failed.
America and in Europe. From the UK to France to Northern Ireland.
Not real.
That is not a failing champion.
Not real.
He's putting in the
Not
work.
real.
He's doing some good
Not
stuff.
real. Not real. He hasn't defended the title.
He has. He's defended on the European tour.
Not real. Not real. It's not real. Not real. He hasn't really defended the title. Where did that happen? In WWE, a fictional world.
But he's
So he hasn't
defended
the title. He hasn't. It happened in a fictional world that doesn't really exist.
Should we get to the next? Come on.
So he has failed as champion because he hasn't pulled in because a champion should do three things: pull in ratings, money, and elevate that title. He's
if they're
done
still
none of
selling
those.
at shows, then they're making the money.
WWE on a whole are selling out. Not him. They aren't. No one's there. Well, a few are there to see Cody, but WWE as a whole are selling out. Not Cody. So the other thing would be. Rock Cody next year. No way. I will not keep Cody as champion. If they are failing after a month, people already bored him after a month.
They haven't booed him.
If people are bored with him after a month and he's failing after a month, then a whole year of this. And who's on SmackDown? And who's on SmackDown to make? Who's on SmackDown to make Cody interesting? I don't care. The match, Cody could have the greatest match ever. I don't care. Why is WWE, again, 10,001 reasons why WWE is better than AEW. One reason, storyline development. You get invested in the storyline. So if the storyline building up to that match isn't good, then I don't really care about the match. There's nobody on SmackDown that can make, even Logan Paul, Heat Magnet, can't make Cody interesting because he'll come out and say the same old thing. What do you want to talk about? And people know that he's going to say that.
Well, that's his catchphrase anyway. So.
Boring. But they don't care if that's his catchphrase. They know what he's going to say before he even gets that microphone. So guess what people are doing? Click. Because they know what he's going to say. They ain't sticking around to watch a Cody Rhodes promo. You've seen them all. You've seen one Cody promo. You've seen them all. So you're going, Cody's on. They'll watch something else. Even Logan Paul can't get Cody interesting. So there's nobody on SmackDown that Cody could have a good feud with. So to keep him champion for a year, hell no. But your thoughts on it?
Look, he's only been a champion for a month. And it's only May. Let's see. Look, if there's anybody that he could have a good feud with, it has to be Randy Orton. I'd like to see him also work a feud with Kevin Owens if they decide to turn Owens heel, but I don't think that's happening at the moment. So let's just wait and see what happens between now and then. But I don't think he's going to be dropping the title soon enough, despite what's going on with SmackDown's ratings. They're still getting a million. They're still getting a million.
Right.
So
but he's not pulling in the ratings because more people are watching NBA than SmackDown.
But like NBA, that's the thing. Like we have the choice. They're choosing to watch NBA, and they're probably going to stream and record.
So there we go. So if they're watching NBA, SmackDown's not a draw. I don't care what else is on. I don't care what competition WWE has. If other people are watching other programs, other shows, other sports, what else? It's not a draw.
One more story.
If you're not fully invested into SmackDown, it's not a draw. So the final thing is, I suppose, the biggest news is, and this is Dana White said this. I don't know how much control. I don't think it controls WWE. It controls UFC portion of TKO.
UFC.
WWE pay-per-views are going back to Sundays. So your thoughts on this?
Well, it's either you have a choice of staying up for it or not. You have to go to work on Monday, but you'll still have the WWE network. So it's really up to you what you want to do. I prefer it on Saturdays because Saturday night, as Elton John says, Saturday night's the night for fighting. I'd rather they stayed on the Saturdays. AEW should have their pay-per-views on Sundays, but they have Collision. But at least best thing to do is scrap Collision and probably put on the pay-per-views on a Saturday, and then more people will watch them then. So no, stick to the Saturday, because Saturday night is fight night.
Which is, if the AW go to a Saturday, they're kind of admitting defeat. But there you go. And then, see, the thing with, like, next weekend, you've got King, Queen of the Ring, and then Double or Nothing. You kind of see the glaring differences between both companies. That's not a good thing.
But the other thing as well is, though, like with both companies, you have the option of taking the day off, Monday off work. I mean, I took Monday off work after WrestleMania.
Right, but with both companies being back to back, you're seeing the massive differences between both companies, which is not really a good thing. It's like,
but would you have both on a Saturday? So you could have King, Queen of the Ring at the Saudi time, and then watch Double or Nothing. Then everyone wins.
I don't think they'll do that. I think they move.
They won't do that now. It's too late for that.
Pay-per-views to a Saturday. So yeah, and then they'll ditch. See how I would get rid of Collision, because Collision gets 0 ratings, and then just move Rampage to a Wednesday and just do a Dynamite and then Rampage, and there you go, and that's what they could do. But I don't know what said Dana White has over WWE, but apparently quite a lot. Because I don't think Triple H has announced that or anything, but
no, he hasn't actually announced that.
But then it's his choice, but the board's choice, which obviously he's not on, so.
And of course, the other big news as well, Becky Lynch has 3 weeks left on her WWE contract. Will she sign? I think she will, but I think she'll take that time off first. We'll talk about our predictions for both King, Queen of the Ring, and Double or Nothing next week, and we'll get more thoughts on the situation with Becky Lynch.
That is right, and everybody watching, well, not everybody's watching now, unfortunately, but later on demand, get liking, subscribing, do all of that. Outro somewhere there, I think. No, there. And of course, like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. Acknowledge, electrify, and good
night.